Welcome to the podcast, Entrepreneur Perspectives, building and protecting your business one podcast at a time, a CADSource family production. In this episode, we discuss the massage industry, B2B, and O.J. Simpson. Our guest today is Rod Greene, owner of the Perfect Touch Mobile Massage. Rod is a certified massage therapist that comes to you. He has found a niche in the B2B world by offering up the services he provides as gifts to you and your clients. Rod has leveraged his talent and passion for massage for 23 years and has turned it into a unique business of providing quality massages for others. With uniqueness in mind, let's get right into this episode and welcome Rod Greene. Rod, the OJ verdict happens, and that was an historic day in legal history. But what was the significance of that day for you?
That was the day that I graduated massage school. So we're about to have the ceremony, and then they flash on the news, the OJ verdict is about to be announced. So they stopped.
Yeah.
And then they watched the OJ verdict come back, and people have been watching for months through this whole entire process of this trial, and it was the beginning of reality TV, so it was kind of an historic event, but it was a big event for me because that's the day I again graduated massage school and started my journey in massage. And then soon after that, I started putting out my resumes, and no one was hiring for massage, especially for male massage therapists.
Right.
So I'm like, I spent all this money and all this time and all this effort. I'm like, and eventually I've always wanted to be I have my own, business. But I figured I'd start out working for someone else first, get my chops and figure out what I'm going to do. And since no one was hiring, I needed a job because I invested a lot into this. So I'm like, I'll start my own. Yeah. So that's kind of how things got started in 1995.
There it is. So, you take it back to 95, the OJ verdict happens. You've been doing this a long time. You clearly know your craft. We've been talking about this offline. We're always impressed with the entrepreneur that has been doing it a while and has just this skill set and knowledge base that you have to have in order to be successful as an entrepreneur. There's a lot of entrepreneurs that are getting started. We talk about it in fitness all the time. Anyone can become a quote-unquote fitness expert if they just say they are.
Right.
But you've actually put in the time, you've put in the effort, you've put in the work, and reputation precedes you, right? All that. But I want to get into why massage, because there's a lot of different practices out there of what is valuable to people, what helps them out. But I want to understand from your standpoint, why massage? Why do you believe in it?
All right, so I believe in massage for the benefits that it relates to as far as sports massage, medical massage, and wellness massage. Those three are the ones that I really focus on. Sports massage because sports massage is basically for people who are heavily invested in the sport that they're passionate about. And any injury could literally hamstring them from being able to do the sport that they're into, or they've been doing it for so many years and they want to continue on in that sport, even either professionally or semi-professionally or for fun, the weekend warrior type of thing. And being able to work with a competent massage therapist to know that they can actually help them pinpoint certain things that are keeping them from moving to that next level, or that nagging little pain that just keeps them from being able to, pivot and start and stop and be able to do whatever they're doing, either in basketball or, pick the sport.
Yeah. So there's obstacles that we all have to overcome in all these different areas of life, right? And you're finding the obstacle that maybe you talk about sports massage therapy. You're talking about that athlete, that something's not working in their game or their performance, and you're trying to get their performance to cross over that one little obstacle. So it sounds like to me that once you help that individual cross that issue because maybe they're hamstring or something's tight and something's wrong, you help them achieve that. That's got to be a gratifying experience for you and for the person that you helped along the way.
Exactly. I've helped a few tennis players that had some issues go from as in that tennis realm of from a 3-5 to a 4,
wow.
And they've gone on to win a national championship in that that
tournament or whatever. Yeah.
So, but because they have this pain or that pain and this inability to do this thing or whatever, because I was able to pinpoint that muscle and be able to get a greater range of motion, or, you know, alleviate that pain that they're having that keeps them from being able to move.
Yeah, they get it to the next level that they're able to get it to, and it's because of you, and it's because of people like you in the industry that got them to that point. So your business, like you said, 1995, the OJ verdict, we'll keep referring back to it because it's a nice, like, you know, it's a nice dot in the timeline that we can put. You start your journey. Were you, before that happened, is this something that you were really looking at, like, I think I can help people? Was that what it was about? Was it an opportunity because of the market that you saw? They said, this is a missing piece, and I feel like I can make a difference in it. Like, what was going through your mind before you got into massage?
Okay, so I'm a younger kid, and I've got a dog, and the dog liked to be petted, and then it went from petting it to really just manipulating the muscles on this dog.
Yeah.
And the dog loved it, and I started going from that to people like shoulders and so on and so forth. People said, "No, you got to get good hands. You got to get good hands. You should go to school." And I'd be happy to be passing by the one school where I'm from, a little place called Las Vegas. You've heard of it?
Yeah, oh yeah, a little bit.
Little town out west, like Waxhaw, but not.
But not.
And I went in and I just fell in love. I was like, "This is what I want to do when I grow up." I love it, and it just fascinated me. The human body is an amazing machine. And there's so many things that can go wrong with it, but, you know, the ability to help a person, you know, achieve better mobility.
Yeah.
To be able to even, you know, from being a great athlete to being able to, or being like an older person who just wants to be able to garden without pain. Things along those lines, I can help people in that way, and that just makes me, it's a very fulfilling.
Oh, I can imagine, because here you are as a kid and you have a interest in it, and then you develop a skill, and then other people see that skill and they say, "Rod, you should try this out."
Yeah.
And most people don't have that. They don't come across like what they're meant to do at such a young age. So I think that's amazing, and it's something like you're talking about. I can see it when you talk. I can see it, you know, I can hear it in the inflection of your voice that this is something you enjoy. Like, you are truly helping. Yeah, you have a passion for it. And this is what we talk to entrepreneurs about. Like, what are you passionate about? What gets you excited? When someone shows up at the office not excited about what they're doing, I don't know how they're going to do it. Because then, what's the point? And then to pull yourself up when things aren't going your way, right? So now you go on your journey and you're going through this and you can't get a job in the industry. That's a time to quit and be like, well, I can't do this anymore. I got to go do something else, right? So what I'm going to go sell. Hey, we have an insurance business. I'm going to go sell insurance. Or I'm going to get in this business. Or I'm going to go back to school, and that happens all the time. But you didn't do that, so you hit that bottom point, kind of the dip, and you have two options at that point. You either quit, which, hey, no harm, no foul. You move on and you do something different, or you push through that barrier. And you push through that barrier. So you don't get a job. They're not hiring male therapists, and you decide, you know what? I'm going to go out on my own and I'm going to do this. So you go and do that. When did that start?
Okay. 95, and I had a fairly thriving business in Vegas, where I'm from. You know, I kind of got in with the Las Vegas Chamber of Commerce. You know, I started going to a lot of the meetings, you know, joined the chamber, and started going to a lot of their events and things, and getting to know people that, you know, they're salespeople, and you know, all the way up to the president of the chamber.
So you were going to the chamber events, and then you started meeting new people, and did you start building your business that way, where these salespeople, these professionals were like, "Rod, you know, you can come work on me, and I know other people that you can come work on"? Is that basically how your business got started?
Yeah, because, you know, sales is stressful.
Yeah.
It's always well, what have you done for me lately? Yeah, you were great, you know, 2 or 3 months ago, but what have you done now? You're kind of a slump, and we're thinking about, you either need to, you know, pick it up, or we're thinking about, you know, letting you go. It's stress all the time.
Yeah.
It's always now, and not what you've done in the past. It doesn't matter.
Right.
It's what have you done for me now.
Yeah.
So it's with that, you know, those stresses, and, you know, you're getting headaches, and you're getting, you know, just you're sitting in a car all day, and you're driving, your little back's, you know, in pain, and so on and so forth. And, you know, so you're presenting to people, and if you've got a nagging pain or you've got a headache that's just pounding, it makes you a little less effective. So, you know, if you can't think straight, you can't perform properly.
That's right. Well, you were just talking about before about athletes' performance. It's no different in the sales in business. And on the sale, you were talking about sales. In sales, what you're looking for is the pain point, right? You're looking to find what is the issue with that person, that individual. and you're literally trying to figure out what that is. What is the pain point? They can say, my neck is bothering me. I'm driving around. I'm sitting in my chair. I'm behind a computer, and I'm stressed out by it. And my performance is lagging as a result. How can you help me out? You know you can help them out. So you do this. I'm assuming you do this for many people there. They start referring you, and on you go.
Yeah.
You're in Vegas, and then now you're not in Vegas. You're in Charlotte, Waxa area. When did you come to Charlotte?
I moved to Charlotte in April of 2009.
Okay.
So in 2008.
Yep. That's another big historic time, right?
It was a whole downturn.
Yeah.
So, I was doing chair massage for businesses and, table massage for people, for individuals. Well, in Vegas, the housing market got hit really hard. So you're losing your house, massage is one of the first things to go.
That's right.
And businesses, they're starting to tighten up the purse strings because they're getting a little nervous about things that are going and what, we need to cut back on things. So, so my business was starting to just dry up out there. And my brother and sister-in-law and their kids decided to move out here to Charlotte, and my mom and dad wanted to be around their grandkids, and I didn't have any kids or wasn't married at that time. So they all moved out here, and I was like, well, see ya.
Yeah.
My goal was to live and die in Las Vegas because I didn't know any better because that's where I was born. But, like I said, the economic downturn happened, and I was like, well, now's a good time as any to try something different. So, with my experience I had from Vegas and, the things I was doing out there, I had to come out here and start again. And this is a different animal out here than Vegas.
Yeah.
Vegas has its own set of rules that only apply to Vegas, where you could take a really big business, take it to Vegas and run it like you did over there, it failed. And here, you can't take Vegas and take it anywhere else and have it work quite the same. It's
okay. So you had to adapt.
I had to adapt.
Yeah.
And I had to get to know people and centers of influence. It took me a while to get in with people here.
Were you going door to door, like office door to door, or were you just really trying to make connections? Charlotte Chamber, for example, was that an option for you?
Believe it or not, I didn't go to the Charlotte Chamber.
Okay.
I haven't. Well, one of the things I've done is I've joined what's called BNI.
Okay.
So Business Networking International, and it's a set of in my particular chapter, Providence Business Partners, it's 45 people that are in various different businesses, and they're all out there actively trying to network for you. They're a referral source. So I tell you what I do and how I do it, and you find someone that you hear like, oh yeah, I got a guy for that.
Yeah.
Or I got a girl for that. I got a girl, that type of thing.
Yeah.
And so we're getting referrals from to and for each other, and that's how I got into a lot of business stores that way.
Yeah.
And I've also joined the Rotary here, and that's how I met Rudy.
Yeah, and that's how you got here, and that's all the connections, right?
Yeah,
I mean, that's what it is. Well, I mean, being here since 2009 time period, and now 2018, time goes fast.
Yeah.
Business is doing well, and you have a strong belief in what it is that you're doing. We talked a little bit about, too, marketing and how you are also getting in front of people in a unique way with Massageagram.
Yeah.
Right. So you're showing up, and business owners or people in business or sales professionals are buying their clients or people that they know your services for them. Right.
Right.
Tell me about that, because what I like about it, and the audience will hear it in a minute, is the fact that you're kind of putting people together for the right reasons. And they're put, and I think, and we've seen videos, and we'll put links to those videos in the show notes. But I think what's important is doing right by other people. This is what your business is, and then your clientele is doing right by their clientele, and it's that pay it forward mentality, because you are truly helping them, and you truly believe that. And I think that's what's most important. So tell us a little bit about the Massageagram.
What I do is, you'd send me out to a business. I bring my massage chair, some balloons, and a personalized note from you to them. Now, typically, I've found that if you try to go after the business owner, they're too busy. They'll never get around to doing it. So you give it to their executive administrative assistant, who's also known as the gatekeeper. And when I go out there, I'm there to represent you, not myself. I'm there to really wow that person and make an impact on them in their busy day. And the thing is, if you can really impress that person, you become, let's say, their favorite vendor, because you're the only vendor that's ever done anything for them for what they do. And their own boss probably hasn't done this for them. So it's really something
Sure.
that stands out in their mind. So you wow that gatekeeper, and your competition has to go through that gatekeeper to make to get to a decision maker to make a switch from you to them. So it's kind of like building a relationship wall around them. That appreciation factor. That wow, someone really cared about me in my day.
All the stuff that goes on in a day.
In the business.
Yeah.
So that you care enough to show appreciation for what they do.
Well, I think what's happening too is there's a lot of pressure. You mentioned it before. What have you done for me lately in the sales organization? There's just pressure in business in general, and it's fast. It's moving faster than it's ever moved before. And for someone to care enough about their clients or their employees or whatever it is, to bring someone like yourself in there to help them out, I think it says a lot. And I think that's what you're doing, right? You're working with a lot of businesses because there is stress involved. Talk to us a little bit about how you relieve stress. Some people could say, well, I don't know how massage is going to relieve it. I'm going to go exercise, or I'm going to do this. But how does massage relieve stress in the way that you perform it?
Well, in a corporate setting, you remember the movie Field of Dreams?
Oh, yeah.
The famous line, if you build it, they'll come. The same applies as if you build a better corporate culture, they will come. So it's a way of attracting the best people in your business to help it to grow.
Yeah.
So, doing things like monthly or quarterly department wellness days. So yes, this is a stressful environment, but this is what we're doing to help relieve the stress. So there's a lot of things you can do to help them to endure the stress. Trips and money and prizes and so on and so forth. That helps them to endure the stress, to go after that ring. But very few ways to actually help them to relieve the stress. So bringing in chair massage as something that either quarterly, monthly, weekly, however they want to set up something, it gives them a way to brand themselves as we're a company that really wants to invest in our employees. Mm-hmm. We care about your health and well-being, and this is what we're doing in order to help you relieve some of that stress that just comes along with working for a company.
Yeah.
So they can work for company A that has massage, or they can work for the competition company B that doesn't have it.
Right.
Same general benefits, health insurance, and all the others.
Sure, it's just another perk. Yeah.
It's another perk that they can attract people to their business and show themselves as an employer of choice.
Yeah. Well, I think it's great that you wouldn't think of someone in the massage business thinking about how I can help your business out, and then you bring out the word company culture, corporate culture. We love that. I mean, that's what we talk a lot about. It is all about the culture. You have to have a great culture. There's a lot of things you have to have. Mm-hmm. Culture is absolutely one of them, and everyone has to be on board and seeing and working as a team, and then giving the benefits, like you said before, of taking away the stress, at least trying to, right?
Reduce it.
That's right. Reduce the stress. You can always remove it.
But you can reduce it.
They've
been working, a lot of hours. Let's say it's a CPA firm, and it's coming up on tax return time. Mm-hmm. You're going to be putting in a lot more hours during that peak season. And if you're stressed out and you're working long hours, and the company can't afford you to make mistakes mm-hmm. because you're stressed and just overcoming with all that kind of type of stuff. Bringing in massage can help to kind of cut that stress for a little bit and kind of like reset you and be able to say, okay, now I can get in there and just do what I do.
That's smart. Well, Shane, if you met Shane, who's a business partner in our company, he was early on in his career, he's a financial planner. He was trying to work with CPAs. So you mentioned CPAs, it made me think of this. He would bring pizzas in early April to them, and here's 5 pizzas, here's 10 pizzas, right? Just a little bit. It's mm-hmm. not necessarily massage, but it's something. It's along the same lines of. That's right. That's exactly it. There's a lot of competition in the massage industry. You have the massage envies of the world. You have the massage chains. You have the individuals like yourself. You have the big hotels like the Ritz or Ballantyne. How do you keep up with that? Do you see it as competition, or is it actually a positive because massage is big now? Because like 10 years ago it wasn't. Right. Now it is. So does that actually help you, or is it a combination?
It actually has helped. Like I said, when the tide rises, all boats rise. Yeah. So places like Massage Envy have brought massage into the mainstream. It's not that seedy thing that people used to see it as. Those type of massages.
Oh yeah.
Yep. We're not going to talk about.
That's right.
don't do.
Right.
But because of that, it's brought it into the mainstream. So people are much more aware of it, and they're more interested in it before, because they're not seeing it as what it was used for before, or not.
Oh yeah.
But they're kind of cookie cutter.
You don't know what you're going to get. I feel like, and I've gone to Massage Envy before, and there's so many therapists, and there's a lot of turnover, and you don't know who that individual person is. So you can have a great experience, you can have an average experience, or you can have a very bad experience. And there's so many different ways to have a bad experience. You can have a lot of noise in there. You can have a bad chair. You can have a bad, therapist. I mean, there's so many different angles. So it's like, I'm uncertain. It's the way I look at it. I'd be uncertain in those situations. Whereas if it was with the individual that I know, I can then make the decision, yes, I like having Rod as my therapist, or no, I don't. And either way, at least I know what I'm deciding at that point. And once I do find the person that I like to work with or have work on me, right, then you go forward with that. And I think that's why you look at like sports teams, they have therapists on staff.
Absolutely.
They know exactly who that person is.
What's going on.
You don't want Cam Newton having the wrong therapist work on him. You don't want him to be unhappy, right?
No. Speaking of Massage Envy, it's a great place to go when you first get out of school, because people are looking for people who have experience. Well, where do you get it from?
Right.
You go to Massage Envy, you get your experience, and then oftentimes they move on.
Yeah.
So and you as an individual going to a place like a Massage Envy or some of these other chains, you're often getting someone who's new and inexperienced, and you pay for experience. For example, I've been doing this for a long time now, 23 years, and have a client of mine who was born without an ACL. And as soon as he told me that, I knew exactly what not to do. The way that he's able to move is because his hamstrings are really super tight.
Yeah.
And if I was new, I'd have gone in like, oh, his hamstrings are tight. Let me go ahead and loosen that up. I'd have put him in a wheelchair.
Yeah.
By not knowing what not to do.
Yeah.
So I like, the more tough challenges, things that are going on with people, because it keeps my mind engaged. 23 years later, I don't like doing Swedish massage. It just doesn't interest me. It bores me, to be honest.
Yeah.
So the more challenges a person might have, the more engaged I am and mentally, and the more I'm just like, okay, I got to figure out what I can do, what I shouldn't do, what muscles affecting this, what's going on with that. Okay, then it's just a mental game.
It's very strategic almost.
Yeah,
Yeah.
It's a mental game that I play with myself, because everybody says it's a muscle puzzle.
Yeah. It's
Everybody's
fascinating.
puzzle.
No, it's fascinating.
Fascinates me.
And I think it's great that here you are looking at it from the standpoint of there are challenges that you're going to come across. And people need to realize that if they're stepping into a place where this person doesn't know how to work on them, that could set them back. Like you said, it might not necessarily be in a wheelchair, but the person might feel lousy for a couple days.
Right.
We've seen that. I've heard of those stories. So no, I think it's great that you're here truly helping people, paying it forward, doing it a different way. You're not just waiting for people to show up at your door. You're marketing, you're networking, you're doing all the right things in a great town that's growing. As we sit here in our conference room, we got the cars driving by. It's nonstop. And Vegas is a growing city again too now, but Charlotte's a great place, and I think you can work with a lot of different people here. I think people are open to it. So I think I appreciate you spending the time with us. I do want to get into some more quick questions, quick answers, if that's okay.
Sure.
All right, let's go for it. So if you weren't a massage therapist, what career would you be in?
If I wasn't a massage therapist, I really don't know.
Yeah. Well, maybe this is the only thing you can, right, that you want to do.
This is not work to me.
Yeah.
It's something I enjoy doing.
Yeah.
So just like some guys like to tinker with cars and work. I can have having a bad day, and I can go on and really affect someone's muscles, and it just makes me kind of relaxes me and makes me.
I think some of the most successful people, and if you define success by being happy, are those that are every single day, because you put a lot of effort, a lot of hours into this, and if you're enjoying what you do,
I love it.
Then you're probably in the right position for yourself. We mentioned sports a few different times already. I threw out Cam Newton. Sports teams, you spent a lot of time in Vegas. You now live in Charlotte, North Carolina. Do you have favorite sports teams that you root for?
Well, coming from Vegas, that up till next year doesn't have a football team.
Right.
I've always been a Cowboy fan.
Okay.
Don't hate.
Yeah. I'm a Bills fan, so we lost twice to you guys in the Super Bowl. So that was fun.
You guys should have got an honorary for
I think so.
You guys had gone
I think so.
to the
I think so. Yeah.
Didn't
Now they're the
quite-
lovable losers, and
Yeah,
you know.
yeah. Kind of like Browns fans, but
Yep, you're very close.
Yeah, they're better.
Yeah.
So my second team would be where I'm from now.
Yeah.
So
Carolina Panthers.
The Panthers. So when I went to the game, and my Cowboys, they
That was week 1, right?
It was awful though.
Yeah.
It was bad.
Yeah.
So it was kind of like a bittersweet for me. My favorite team lost, but my second team, hey, won. So it wasn't so
Yeah,
bad.
you put them all together. No,
Yeah.
that's good. I mean, the Cowboys are one of those teams. They had all that success right in the '90s, and they just thought it would continue, and then it's kind of hasn't gone very well for them since.
No, once these older players
They're always competing though. So I think that's a difference. Like the Bills had their success, and then they got out of it, and they haven't actually competed for they got in the playoffs last year, the first time in 17 years.
Hey.
So but it's at least the Cowboys are competing. They're just not competing at the level that the Cowboy fans are used to,
Right.
which is championships.
can often get to the playoffs and then forget how to play football.
That's right. That's it. All right, so we've talked a little bit about marketing. Social media is obviously a big thing today. What is your favorite social media app for your business today?
Right now, it's still Facebook. I got a certain small, very very small, Facebook fandom, or people that are from either from Charlotte or from back home that are rooting for me and
Yeah.
Hey, go, you're gonna be on this show today. I'm looking forward to it.
That's awesome. People are rooting for you.
Yeah, people are rooting for me, so I appreciate it.
Yeah.
And I've got some people here like Dan Horner, who owns True Homes, one of the owners of True Homes, and he's really been a super in my corner, trying to help me in a lot of different ways to grow my business.
I think that's great. Having raving fans, you need them to keep you going.
Yeah.
You really do. And sometimes it can be a sibling, a parent, a spouse, a coworker, a center of influence. It can come in all different shapes and sizes. I always felt like to put yourself out there, like you being on the podcast, you just need one person to say, "Hey, Rod, you did a really great job." I think that's awesome. It just helps. Because you're going to have people that think, nah, I don't really like it. And that's okay too, right? Because you can't be there. You can't be the massage therapist for everybody.
I'm definitely not.
It just doesn't work that way.
No, for people who love that, more the relaxation, fluff and buff type stuff, like I said, go to Massage Me for that.
That's right.
If you got some real issues and that you're dealing with, and you're in a lot of pain and chronic pain, I'm your guy, because that's what lights me up.
Yeah, I think that's fantastic. All right, so if we're going to ask you this question, it's a little odd, but it's a good one. If you could massage one celebrity or an athlete, someone famous, who would that be and why?
Cam Newton.
Yeah.
Because, he's a quarterback, and by having him as one of my clients, let's say, that would open it up for a lot of other people. Because some guys are like, well, I don't want a guy touching me, and da-da-da.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, he massages Cam Newton, then he must be good, and I'll just kind of get over my issues.
Yeah.
Because there's nothing sexual about massage at all. It's just not.
Yeah.
Working on you is the same as working on your wife, is the same as working on anyone else. It's just muscles.
That's right. I like how you think, because you went immediately to someone you could help, but then also the strategy of it. And what would that do, and what doors would that possibly open for you? It's very business savvy. It's very entrepreneurial of you. So I think that's to hear that, I like that. All right, so last question, and then we'll say our goodbyes. But when was the moment you told yourself you needed to make it happen and you gave yourself no excuses?
Okay, that'd be when I got married. Had all this responsibility, and my wife has an older child, and so I got the responsibility of having a full-on family, and there's no excuses. I got to provide. And that's what actually makes me think, how can my business help another business to grow? Because if I can help another business to grow, then I'm going to succeed, and I'm going to be able to take care of my family by taking care of others. What's the quote that says, if you help enough people get what they want,
sure.
You'll always get what you want. So this is how I think, and I'm always thinking about how can I help someone.
Yeah.
And therefore, I know by doing that and keeping them first in my mind, then they're going to want to use me more and more and more, and therefore I'll stay in business.
Yeah, no, we see it. I mean, and we just the way you talk, like I said, looking at you as we talk is always helpful. We see that you're doing exactly that. We appreciate it. Yeah, well, you got to keep trying. It's always refining it, right? And always trying to get a little bit better and meet new people. And we met today, so that was a good start. Rod, what's the best way? So if someone wanted to use you for your services, what's the best way to get a hold of you?
Well, they can call me 704-957-4221, 704-957-4221, or they can go to my Facebook page, just check out me. I'm working on getting a website here. Going into the fourth quarter is always my best quarter, and I have more money to invest into these type of things. Summer is always the slowest as people go on vacation and they take my money with them.
That's right.
Keep the money. The money will be here when you get back.
That's right.
I don't see it that way.
That's right.
But so I'm working on a website soon, so that's going to be coming. I got a lot of ideas with that. How you can book online, and there's several other people. Like there's a private chef that I want to work with that you can let's say click on and say, okay, you can get someone to come to your house and do a private cooking for you, and as well as getting a massage as well. All kinds of ideas along those lines of different massage experiences a person can have besides what I do.
Yeah.
So that's coming, but as of right now, my phone number is the best way, or you can get on Facebook and find me there.
Yeah, send you a message. That's great, Rod. Well, we appreciate, like I said, your style, your thinking, your entrepreneurial style of always opening up new doors. You're paying it forward, helping other people, businesses, athletes, whoever that might be, and the great story that you shared with us of how you got here, starting, of course, with the OJ verdict. And here we are now, 2018. So we appreciate the time you spent with us, Rod. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Rod, it has been absolutely awesome having you on this podcast. From teaching our listeners about massage and constantly learning about your business, we're better off for spending time with you. The perspectives from Rod on his business are now perspectives you as the entrepreneur can use for yourself. And for that, Rod, thank you. And for anyone looking to talk to Rod about his massage services, we encourage you to reach out to him. If you have questions, feel free to reach out to me directly. You can find me on LinkedIn or contact me on Twitter and Instagram at Eric_Kaz. Thank you for listening to our KazSource podcast, Entrepreneur Perspectives, building and protecting your business one podcast at a time. Until next time, we're out of here. This podcast exists in large part because of KazCM, the content marketing business inside KazSource Inc. KazCM is excited to bring the content marketing services used at KazSource to you. Learn more by visiting KazCM.com. Thank you so much for listening to this podcast. It's a big deal to us. We hope you found value in it, and if you did, we would be incredibly grateful if you gave us a review on iTunes. Remember to subscribe to this podcast, and feel free to share it with anyone you know. More than anything, thank you again for listening. We appreciate it.